The Voice tough decision looms for Gwen Stefani. In a sneak peek of The Voice, Bias and Jackie Roar each deliver a strong performance that'll force Gwen Stefani to make a tough decision. Being a coach on The Voice certainly comes with its own set of unique challenges. On one hand, a coach strives to assemble the strongest team filled with the best performers. That seems easy enough. But on the other hand, the better the performers are, the harder it is for a coach to send someone home. Unfortunately for Gwen Stefani, she will soon have to make that tough decision. On Friday, The Voice offered up a dramatic sneak peek of Monday's new episode. In the clip, the battle rounds appear to be as ruthless as ever. Bias and Jackie Roar gave the coaches quite the performance when they covered Jelly Roll's Need a Favor together. In the sneak peek, the duo electrifies the crowd with a dazzling rendition of the popular song. Bias and Jackie Roar's performance leads to a tough decision. After the Team Gwen contestants finished their performance, the coaches couldn't help but show their appreciation. Coach Niall Horan appeared to show his goosebumps as he marveled at the singers. Stefani looked over to Reba McEntire and immediately acknowledged that she was going to have to make one hell of a tough decision. "What am I going to do?" Stefani proclaimed as she nervously laughed it off. Coach John Legend heaped on the praise as the first to speak to Bias and Jackie Roar. "You two were electric. I was enjoying every moment," said Legend. "I loved your interaction together. And y'all were singing too." But when forced to pick a favorite, Legend ultimately chose to go with Bias. "I lean a little towards Bias," he said. "A little bias towards Bias," chimed Stefani. McEntire also acknowledged how entertaining the duo were in their performance. "Bias, you're up there just bouncing around. So excited. You look like a 12-year-old out there having fun," she said. After taking a moment to think it over, McEntire eventually sides with Jackie Roar, setting the stage for the final tense moments. Who will Gwen Stefani choose? Tipping the scales briefly in Jackie Roar's favor, Coach Niall Horan admired the singer's voice. "Jackie, your voice is just crazy," Horan exclaimed. "It's so hard to sing a song like that and have that much control." However, in the end, Horan looked to Roar as his favorite of the two. "People sometimes will look at you and forget how good of a singer you actually are, just because they're looking at stage presence and you're bouncing around everywhere," he said of Bias. "You were absolutely brilliant." As the attention turned to Stefani, she couldn't help but marvel at her team. "Bias, you're an unbelievable character of just who you are is so strong," she said. "You're just so weird and cool." Stefani then looked to Jackie Roar. "Jackie, you're everything. You're beautiful. You have so much confidence. Your voice can do everything," she said. Stefani then admitted the trouble she was in by needing to choose only one. "It's an impossible decision, Gwen," Carson Daly said. "But the time has come. Who is the winner of this battle?" Gwen Stefani, a woman of many talents, singer, songwriter, fashion icon, and now seasoned coach on The Voice, is facing one of the most pivotal moments of her coaching career. As season 24 of the hit reality singing competition heads into the final stages, Stefani finds herself grappling with a decision that could not only define the trajectory of her team's contestants, but also shape her legacy on the show. The stakes are higher than ever, with competition fierce, emotions running high, and fans on the edge of their seats. For Gwen, her journey on The Voice has been about much more than just selecting the most talented singer. It's about shaping raw talent into something remarkable, encouraging personal growth, and sometimes making heartbreaking decisions in the process. As she nears the decisive moment of choosing which contestants will continue in the competition, Stefani is burdened with the toughest choice she has faced so far. But what makes this decision so daunting, and why is it particularly challenging this season? A season like no other, every season of The Voice brings its own set of surprises and challenges, but season 24 has been a whirlwind. Stefani has always approached coaching with a unique blend of compassion, creativity, and high expectations, often selecting artists who don't fit the mold of conventional pop stars. This year is no exception. Her team features a lineup of eclectic talent, with singers ranging from powerful vocalists to quirky performers with distinctive styles. It's a diverse group that has only grown more impressive with each performance, leaving Stefani with the difficult task of narrowing down her team. However, what sets this season apart is the level of attachment Stefani has developed for her artists. Known for being deeply invested in her contestants' journeys, she has bonded with her team in a way that seems more personal than ever. Each singer has a compelling backstory, a unique voice, and a fighting spirit that resonates with Gwen's own artistic journey. As a result, the decision-making process feels heavier, more emotional, and incredibly personal. The emotional weight of letting go, one of the toughest parts of being a coach on The Voice, is having to send someone home. For Gwen, this aspect of the show has always been challenging, as she is known for forming deep connections with her team. Over the years, she's shown time and again that her coaching style goes beyond technical advice. She's invested in the personal growth of her singers, pushing them to find their artistic identity and express their authentic selves. But when it comes to eliminations, this emotional investment becomes a double-edged sword. This season, as Gwen weighs her options, it's clear that her decision is tearing her apart. Each contestant brings something unique to the table, and she knows that for every person she chooses to keep, someone else's dream will be cut short, at least temporarily. The looming decision isn't just about who has the best voice, but about who can continue growing under the spotlight, who can adapt and thrive in a competitive environment, and who has the potential to truly shine beyond the show. The emotional toll on Stefani is palpable. She has spoken candidly in interviews about how difficult it is to let go of contestants she believes in, many of whom she sees as ready for stardom in their own right. Her empathy and sensitivity, while endearing to fans, make these decisions even more gut-wrenching for her as a coach. Balancing talent and strategy as the competition heats up, the decision Gwen faces isn't just about who has the most potential, it's also about playing a strategic game. In The Voice, coaches have to think about how their team will stack up against the competition moving forward. It's not just about individual performances, but also about which contestants are versatile enough to handle various challenges, engage the audience, and maintain momentum throughout the season. Gwen's coaching style, which emphasizes individuality and artistic expression, has always set her apart from other coaches like Blake Shelton or Kelly Clarkson. While they may lean more heavily on technical proficiency and commercial appeal, Stefani is known for championing authenticity. Her contestants often reflect her own career, non-traditional artists who don't always fit into a single genre. This season is no different, but with that diversity comes the challenge of determining who can rise above the rest in an unpredictable competition. One of the biggest factors Gwen must consider is the audience's reaction. Fans of The Voice are as passionate as ever, and their votes play a significant role in determining who stays and who goes. A contestant may be incredibly talented, but if they don't connect with viewers, their chances of moving forward are slim. This is where Gwen's experience comes into play. She knows how important it is to balance artistic integrity with the demands of a mainstream audience. Her decision must take into account not only who has the best voice, but who can capture the hearts of millions watching at home. Gwen's legacy on The Voice, beyond the immediate pressures of the competition, Gwen's decision holds greater significance when viewed in the context of her legacy on The Voice. As one of the few female coaches to have appeared multiple times on the show, Stefani has carved out a unique space for herself. Her presence has brought a fresh perspective, focusing on nurturing creative risk-takers and nonconformists, and her influence has helped shape the direction of the show over the years.